Vaughn is thinking about coming out last year. How much discussion was there? I know you just kind of lay out the facts for him. You don't try to talk him into staying, but.
Well, fortunately, Mr. Miller and Vaughn were available for me to go talk to them, and I had talked to some NFL teams and had the grades that people hadn't seen them at, and I was more concerned with people that I knew in the business. That how do you see this guy? And so I kind of laid that out for him, and then that was up in Dallas during recruiting. I had an opportunity to go recruiting or go see one of our top recruits who might be leaving us, so I decided I better go see him. And then he was struggling with it, what he wanted to do, and so forth. And then I invited him back down to College Station to come talk about it again. And we were talking, and again went through all the facts and figures and all that stuff. And I never really want to tell them unless they specifically ask me what they should do. And then finally Mr. Miller said, well, if he's your son, what would you tell him to do? I said, to be honest with you, I think if it's my son, I'd tell him to come back. I think there's much more to gain than lose by coming back. And I really thought that his stock value would increase to the point. And once you get into the top 10 or the top 5, I mean, that's ground you can never make up if you're a second-round pick or a late first-round pick. So, and then the other part of it was to finish what he started, which I think he feels good about that. He feels good about being part of a team. He developed leadership skills while he was here. He literally loves his teammates and really made a strong connection to all the kids. So I'd say he made a pretty good decision. And it was his decision, obviously.
What does it mean to have a player like him, a high-profile guy, just for the future of the program, Mike?
Well, I actually think Vaughn obviously played very well for us this past season, but he's probably done more for the program since the last game just by the recognition he's received nationally, the Buckus Award, the Combine, and the constant conversation that is going with Von Miller. So he's done a lot for us as far as putting us back on the map. And, there was a time this was a more regular situation for A&M back when RC was here in the 80s and 90s. So it's nice to be able to have a player of that magnitude. And, I'm probably, everybody's talking about what a great job he did at the Combine, but I'm more proud of how he handled himself as a man in answering questions. I thought he's done a great job, and also always maintaining his roots. And I thought he's answered questions with humility and talked a lot about his teammates. And I think a lot of head coaches, a lot of owners are endeared to that type of response more than the other. So I think he really helped himself by being genuine and honest in his responses and how he felt.
Do you have guys right now in the program that are going to continue this tradition, and you feel like that this has been about 10 years since A&M had somebody like this?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, if you said to me 2 years ago, we get to this point with Von Miller, I don't know if I could have said that he would be this high a pick. So as I told the team, we had our junction workouts this morning. As I told the team 2 years ago, I had a discussion about we were going to play Von Miller and get the most out of him, and he really has turned this whole thing around. So there are opportunities out there. I do think we have guys in the program that have aspirations and talents enough to be able to get into an elite status. How high that gets them, I don't know. But I do think we have some elite players in our program that will get to that point. And maybe not as high as that, maybe higher, who knows. But we'll see how the future bears out for them.
Mike, you've been on the other side of this, the head coach in the NFL, assistant coach in the NFL. You know how it gets. They start nitpicking now. Yeah. There was some criticism of Vaughn that maybe he's the next Vernon Golston or Mike Mamula, workout warrior. But it seems to me that he has 2 years of film that maybe those guys didn't have.
Yeah, well, I can't speak on that because I haven't really studied those guys, but that's always a concern when you're making a draft pick this high. You're going to be, and I told him this, you're going to be picked apart, and you can't listen to, I told Jerrod the same thing, you can't listen to the critics because everybody wants to be an expert and have a reason why you won't make it instead of why you will. And they don't always understand what's inside of you. And so that's part of the business, their ability to be able to handle the criticism and the constant evaluation and critique, and hopefully, and it seems like he's handling it well because I don't think there's too much you can say about him. I mean, he's a freakish athlete. I thought he has film to back up what he can do, and he's handled himself properly in his interviews with the media and also with coaches. I've had a number of coaches call me up and say what a great interview he was and how humble he was and is he really like that? And I had to tell him, yeah, that's Von Miller. The thing about Von Miller too that people don't recognize is he has great chemistry in the locker room. He kept things loose, and players love to be around him. I think he makes those around him have fun with the game of football and with being his teammate. So we'll miss that as much as his play on the field.
I think we saw that today, his participation to come here, helping out his teammates to maybe get a look from some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to run a 40-yard dash today, and people advised him not to. But I asked him yesterday, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but, it wouldn't hurt you to run. And he said, yeah, okay. And so he ran, and the reason he ran, I think, was to give other guys looks and to help their situation. So, a special guy to be able to do that. It's not all about him, and I think that's why teams are going to want him on their team.
Coach Sherman, what can you say about Jerrod and how he's handled the draft process?
Well, Jerrod's a consummate worker. He's from the end of the season to right now, he's been working and trying to improve his game and get better. And he'll be with somebody when the season starts, I believe, and who we don't know just yet. But Jerrod, you don't have to worry about Jerrod Johnson. He's going to work and he's going to study. He's going to interview well. Phenomenal person. He's impacted this program since I've been here as much as anybody. And his leadership is just phenomenal. I mean, I know the season on the field for him didn't go the way he wanted it, but he did everything he possibly could to help us win football games every week, not just the ones he played in, but the other ones as well. So we're going to really miss him around here. He's going to leave a huge void in leadership on our football team because he's kind of a one-of-a-kind guy.
You got Jerrod over here if you need.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.